the general concept that we came up with was creating something where you couldn't see any buttons or switches or sensors except for what's poking through. So it's supposed to look like a box that you stuck your hands in and did stuff to. So we were able to accomplish that with some IR sensors.
We have holes cutting this side, which are slits. You cut all the holes to be like relative to how many sensors we're going to be using for them. So we have two sensors pointing at each other at the end of each slit. So it gives you about the full range for each of those, except for one, which has a huge dead range in the middle. These on the top, same thing. On the other side, the two circles is where it got really interesting. We have two IR sensors right at the front of the holes to detect whether your hands are there or not. Those act as binary sensors to trigger those notes. And we also have inside two additional sensors mounted perpendicularly so they can tell you, like, not exactly where your hand is positioned, but you can move your hand around and you interact with those sensors.
Like for this sensor, for example, we basically made it so that so instead of just being on and off like that, if you put it on and then pull your hand away, it'll stay on to the value that you leave your hand at. And if you pull your hand back, you know, at any point, you can just take your hand away and it'll stay
Several
like
times. And you can't see it, but on Aaron's side, he also has two of them that work exactly the same.
So
Do
yeah,
things
these
like
two
this.
pretty much work like a for a DJ with a turntable with a mixer, and you can switch from side to side. We basically had one of these slots controlling the volume on each one of those circles, so that if your hand's all the way this way, one of them's on. If your hand's all the way this way, the other one's on. If you bring your hands to the middle, it's off. But so that my hand didn't have to be in there the whole time, which would totally monopolize one of my hands. We just made it so you can go like that and then pull out, and it'll stay.
The right hand is also connected to a maelstrom patch, and the left one is connected to a subtractor patch, which you can't really hear. That's just
Here, I can turn these on.
He essentially has a mixer on the other side, on the bottom, where he can control the volume of one or the other. So he can put both of them on or only one on. So this is the subtractor patch in the background. And there's a sensor here pointing down, a sensor here pointing over, so that as I move my hand around the inside, it picks up different values, and the same on this side, one here and one here. But what's interesting is that the ones on this side affect the subtractor patch, and the ones on this side affect the maelstrom patch.
See, we have these two node-ons over here. The top, so I have two slots. I have one on the top, one on the bottom. The bottom is the volume. The one on the top, so there's a sensor on this side and a sensor on this side, and it just starts, it brings up the volume for two different rhythmic maelstrom patches.
The buttons under the overhang, you haven't seen these buttons. They, the very left button is a silencer, so whatever noise you want, push the button, all the noise is done. These other three are just background samples from NN19, set on different notes. We have on top is, you want to play one of those notes?
Yeah.
Play on the side thing.
Yeah.
LFO rate for oscillator.
These three all interact with each other. This is the volume control for a subtractor patch.
For this.
This is the note on for the actual patch, and this here is the filter frequency for it.
This one's just noise. There's a lot of background noise.